Chapter 7. Once Upon a Dance. It had been a few days since Mal, Evie, Carlos, and Jay had approached Ben to discuss the VK program, and Mal was starting to feel a little impatient. Every moment on the Isle of the Lost meant neglect, filth, and abandonment for the kids who lived there. The sooner they got more kids to apply to Oridon Prep, and the sooner they got them off the Isle, the better those kids' lives would be. Evie had brought it up again the other night, and Mal had promised she would ask Ben about it today. They were at their ballroom dancing practice, and even though Mal wished they were training with swords and shields instead, she kept it to herself. Since she had been announced as the future Lady Mal, she and Ben were expected to lead many dances and countless royal balls around Oridon. There were so many styles to learn: the foxtrot, the waltz, the Vietnamese waltz. Who knew there were two kinds of waltzes? The quick step, the mambo, the cha-cha. Ben was already in the palace ballroom with Merryweather, their instructor. The good fairy was wearing her usual blue gown, blue hat, and blue cape. She eyed Mal's purple dress and smiled. Good morning, King Ben and Mal," she said. "Are we ready for our lesson?" "We sure are," said Ben heartily. Kingly duties took up so much of his schedule, and Mal knew he was glad for any excuse to spend more time together, even if that meant learning complicated formal dances. "Shall we?" he asked, offering Mal his hand. "We shall," she said, her eyes sparkling as she took it. He swept her into his arms, and they began counting the steps to the waltz. Ben was concentrating hard on his footwork, and Mal had to make sure she kept in time with the beat. So it was only when Ben swung her around and dipped her that she was able to catch his attention. "Pardon?" he asked, as Merryweather tapped her wand and music filled the room. "I was saying about the VK program. I was thinking we should bring as many kids as possible to Oridon Prep," she told him. "Wouldn't that be too many?" said Ben, spinning her around. "What's too many?" she asked, trying not to feel dizzy. Ben shrugged, and his hands drifted back to her waist for the next step. "It's a delicate situation. We had to handle it correctly." Merryweather tapped them with her wand. "Ben, chin up. Mal, please don't hold your skirt that way." They adjusted accordingly. "I just wish we could bring them all over," said Mal, as they picked up the dance again. "I know. I do too," said Ben. "Honestly, I didn't realize the impact of my decision on the kids who weren't originally chosen. I didn't know they took it so personally, like Uma." Mal made a face. "There's only one Uma," she said. "I don't think Oridon can handle more than one," he said mildly. "I agree," said Mal, as Ben twirled her around. "So how many then? How many kids will be accepted into the program?" Ben whispered. "Name a number." 10. 2, he replied teasingly. She snorted. 6, 3, 4, said Mal, as she curtsied to him at the end of the waltz. "Done," said Ben, bowing low with a smile. "Exactly," said Merryweather, as the music ended with a flourish. 4 more villain kids. It was hardly everyone, but it was a start, she smiled at Ben. "Perfect." "Oh," Merryweather clasped her hands together. "You are both lovely dancers."